2 people have been killed by rocket fire in the annexed Golan Heights. This came in Lebanese militant group Retaliation after a former bodyguard of its leader was killed in an Israeli strike. According to open source intelligence monitor, Yasser Qanabash, a senior member of Hezbollah, as well as the former bodyguard of Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah, was eliminated by an Israeli airstrike on his vehicle while it was transiting the Beirut-Damascus highway, following which 2 Israelis were killed as Hezbollah fired dozens of rockets at the Golan Heights. Israeli police said that 1 rocket hit a car in the Golan, instantly killing a man and a woman. Police said that firefighters battled several fires that broke out as a result of rockets that fell to the ground. Meanwhile, Lebanon's Hezbollah published an almost 10-minute video showing footage of 17 military sites in the Israeli-occupied Syrian Golan Heights. On the other hand, Palestinian officials have said that an Israeli airstrike in southern Gaza Strip killed over 24 people, while advancing tanks in Gaza City is forcing residents to flee under fire. Israel has stepped up an offensive that Hamas warns could jeopardise ceasefire talks. Meanwhile, the Gaza ceasefire negotiations will resume in Doha today, following which the negotiators will return to Cairo tomorrow. Earlier, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and US Central Intelligence Agency Director William Burns discussed the ceasefire.
العاهل الأردنية وبجواره الرئيس محمود عبد إضافة إلى وصول.
Well, of course, this is now an escalating tension in the area of the Middle East And there'll be many hopes from the likes of America and its European allies that this tension doesn't escalate into a wider conflict. The threat of Hezbollah getting involved has been growing in recent weeks, and many Israelis, of course, desperate for a ceasefire and to get home those hostages which are still being held since the war started in October the 7th. And I'm pleased to say we are now joined by our correspondent, Jodie Cohen. Jodie, good to see you. Hezbollah once again publishing drone footage of military sites in northern Israel. Is this now being seen as a sign of escalation in the fighting between Hezbollah and Israel?
Hi, Oliver. So it's certainly being seen as a threat. Hezbollah has said that an Israeli city would be featured in its next video, and that follows a recent Hezbollah video showing sites in Haifa, which is Israel's third largest city. Now, in the most recent fighting, the Israel Defense Forces said that they've struck Hezbollah sites, including the site of a Hezbollah rocket launch. And they said that was in response to Hezbollah firing roughly 30 rockets at the Golan Heights. And one of those rockets, as you said, directly hit a car and killed 2 Israeli civilians. Now remember, Hezbollah started firing rockets at Israel the day after Hamas's 7th of October attack, and there have been exchanges of fire almost daily since then. Now, to de-escalate, Hezbollah is saying that Israel must stop the war in Gaza, and Israel is saying that Hezbollah must go back to the UN-recognized boundary between Lebanon and Israel and stop the rockets so that the residents of the border communities can return home.
And of course, following those Israeli airstrikes in Gaza, are the Doha talks for a hostage truce deal likely to be derailed, do you think?
So Hamas has said that Israel's military operation could lead to the collapse of the talks. Israel would, of course, say that it's because of that military pressure that Hamas actually returns to the negotiating table. And in the latest, the IDF has said that they've killed several gunmen, located weapons and destroyed tunnels in the past 24 hours. Now, remember, President Biden said that the best way to achieve a ceasefire, he suggested, was for Hamas to agree to the hostage truce proposal, which has been backed by the UN. And White House spokesperson John Kirby on Tuesday said that Israel has reaffirmed to the US its commitment to that proposal. Now, Hamas didn't agree to that deal, but did offer a counter proposal, and Prime Minister Netanyahu issued his principles for a deal in response. And a US official has said that significant progress has been made in the talks in Cairo, although there is still a long road ahead before an agreement could possibly be reached.
OK, well, let's hope that they can reach one soon. Jodie Cohen joining us live there. Many thanks for that insight.